Hello, welcome back to Foreclosure Friday. I'm Dan Howell with Coldwell Banker, and we are on site at another foreclosure here in Westmoreland County. As last week, we kind of took some recommendations from some people, so hopefully we can make this a little bit better, make it a little bit longer than the last one. And this week, we do have a guest coming on the way, and I think we might have him here now. We do, actually. Come on in, Ron.
Hi, Dan.
Everyone, this is Ron Minnich with Allstate Insurance.
Hello.
Coming to talk to us about some information on insurance.
Everyone's favorite topic.
It's the most interesting topic.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, Ron. All right, Ron. I have a little list here because I actually forgot about half of what I wanted to say the last time. So it's not totally Elena's fault that the last one wasn't good. Anyway, so Ron, a lot of people are interested in foreclosures, and there's a lot that they don't know about it. There's a lot of misconceptions. And I think with the insurance side of it, there's also a lot that people don't know about insurance. There's just a lot into it. And so as far as the foreclosures go, how would somebody go about getting insurance on a foreclosure, maybe in particular one that may not be habitable at the time of purchase?
Well, that's going to be the biggest concern because a homeowner's policy is the same with it being a foreclosure and or not as far as the process goes. And basically nowadays, 99% of your insurance companies are going to inspect the property. And basically, depending on the inspection is going to dictate being able to get coverage and or not. So that's pretty much where it all kind of lies, is the condition of the property. If it's not habitable, basically what an insurance company is going to want to do is find out in the inspection of what repairs are going to necessarily need to be done to make it habitable. And then there's some guidelines and things like that depending on how bad the inspection is.
Okay. And so I think another part of insurance that I run into a lot, which would be another part about a foreclosure, is that a lot of folks don't realize that having insurance on a vacant property is a lot different than having insurance on an occupied property.
Yes.
So with these foreclosures, I don't know. Someone might buy it and may not work on it for another year or another 2 years. They might pick it up inexpensive and just kind of let it sit.
Right.
So can you tell us a little bit about insurance on a vacant property, or maybe also one that might be under construction?
Yes. So there's a big difference as far as how long it plans on being vacant. Like, for example, in a normal home purchase, a house might be vacant for a few weeks, transition between ownership. A standard company usually is going to mandate it to be occupied within a very short period of time. Most of the companies that I know of, it's probably about a 30-day window for you to be occupied. If it's going to be vacant, it just makes the insurance even a little bit more harder to obtain. Not only that, but the cost of a vacant insurance policy is more expensive than your standard homeowner's policy. So it just depends on the length of it being vacant mainly, and also if it's going to be in the course of construction, depending on the type of ownership that it's going to be on the property, rental, seasonal, if it's owner occupied, you can do certain things on a policy such as builder's risk or under construction, but the insurance company needs to know about that, and they give you coverage for up to 12 months.
Okay, very good. Did you get all that? So I guess my last question for you, Ron, would be, we try to hit a lot about foreclosures in these segments, but I also like to bring in a little bit of, if you were just kind of like buying a typical purchase where somebody is going to move right in to a house, and it is habitable, and it's not going to be under construction, it's going to be owner occupied. What typically like you mentioned inspections and such, like what typically would the insurance companies look for?
Well, basically, a lot of it's going to be done by your discussions with the agent prior to purchase, going over the details. We work a lot with looking at online listings and getting the details for the structure. So that kind of leads to the acceptability of a policy, the age of the structure, the roof, the condition of the inspection. Insurable interest is a big one, making sure it's owner occupied and such. And then obviously the condition of the structure is your pretty much main concern in liability. If there's like a cracked walkway with the steps are crumbling, there's going to be some things that the insurance company is going to want you to fix. But with insurability, it's pretty much those main.
And it's within a certain time frame.
Correct.
So they can fix it after.
Well, it depends on the insurance company.
Okay.
Some insurance companies will not write the insurance policy prior to things being fixed. You have to show that they're fixed, then we'll insure it. Some insurance companies will offer coverage, depending on the risk, and give you 90 days to fix it,
Right.
but still offer insurance.
There was a question that I thought of while you were saying that too. What if, and I run into it because I get a lot of my clients asking me these questions that they try to give to you. And a lot of these questions I don't have the answer to. Like, I don't know, especially when you're, square footage. So we're not allowed to disclose square footage. We get it all the time. I mean, I'm a pretty good estimator, but we don't really know what the square footage is. We don't know how old the roof is. We don't even know how old some of these properties are.
Right. It's hard to figure out. I mean, I love the internet. Zillow is a big use for me. If the property's within traveling distance, I'll go and actually walk it off and try to estimate the square footage myself.
Okay.
The age is a big one.
Yeah.
It's usually hard to figure out.
Most
But you can kind of estimate it based on where it was built.
In the side.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's probably the toughest part, is just getting the details from the real estate agent or the customer, especially if it's a new purchase.
Right.
A lot of people don't have that information.
Right.
So the inspection is very, very well though, because they come back with all of it. They'll walk off the square footage. They map out each room. The inspection is very, very detailed, because the main thing the inspection is doing is making sure that the condition of the property is right. There's no liability concerns for the insurance company or the owner. Plus, they want to make sure that we're insuring the property correctly, not writing a $500,000 structure coverage for a $150,000 house.
That's what I was going to say. So you ask these questions almost like kind of at the beginning.
Correct.
And then the inspection will kind of confirm everything.
Right. Basically, some companies are different. We actually have a third party that goes out and do the inspections. Some insurance companies require their agents to do the inspections. I kind of do both. If, like I said, if the property's close, I'll go and inspect it myself, because I don't want to waste my time, the insurance adjuster's time, or the inspector, and make sure that we have a risk that we'll be willing to take.
Okay, very well. Well, we're going to take a little tour of the property. I wanted to give you a little bit more information about foreclosures. Now, with this particular foreclosure, as is with a lot of them, the banks will sometimes do some work on the property to ensure the safety and the security of the property. So as you can see, it seems like they took out a good portion of the plaster here. Who knows why they did it? They could have, it could have been falling down. There could have been a lot of stuff, peeling, whatever. The bank felt that this was unsafe. So they cut this out, repainted underneath, I guess kind of secured where it was. They do a lot of that throughout the house, just because there's going to be a ton of people through these houses. Everybody feels that foreclosures are a good deal. A lot of times they are. You can pick them up for pretty inexpensive sometimes. So we'll take a walk into the next room here, which is where we started. So as you can see here, this is another thing obviously that happened after the bank did it, but they put the handrails up so that everybody can make their way up the steps without a problem. And, let's see, we need some terminology.
Well, that's one other thing also I wanted to mention. Most of the inspections done for homeowners are just exterior. I do like to try to get the insured or the client to maybe be there so the inspector can come in if necessary, but 90% of the time they just do an exterior inspection.
Okay.
Thought that'd be a good thing.
Absolutely. And here is the kitchen. So as you can see, there's definitely some
Never mind, we're good.
So I guess maybe we might have some internet connection problems, but let's hope that it works out. We're gonna go upstairs.
Good job on Brown. It's very sticky.
And we're gonna take you back in time to I don't know. It's
1970s.
There you go, 1970s. The room is very retro.
It is.
Now, talking about the different types of work that the bank will do. So they do make sure that the property is secured. They'll make sure all doors are secured, all doors are padlocked. You're not going to get in. A lot of those reasons are because if somebody knows that a property is vacant, they'll want to take advantage of that. And squatters. Or midnight plumbers. We'll go to the next room.
I don't know if you have a squatters.
Yeah, we don't really have a lot of squatters in Westmoreland County, but you never know.
No.
This is another bedroom 2.
They're nice size.
A beautiful bathroom. And circling. Oh, okay, we're back on. Sorry about that. So apparently here we are having a little bit of a internet connection issue, but we just wanted to wrap it up. And before we lose service again, thanks for watching. If you any information on insurance, please contact Ron Minnich. He's tagged in this. For any more information on this house or any other house, foreclosure or not, feel free to contact me, Dan Howell. And stay tuned for terminology